How we doing, everybody? Hope we're live. I'm sure we are. Let's get Benji's banner straight up today. So afternoon, morning, evening, good night, wherever you are. Welcome to yet another lockdown live stream. Still in lockdown and likely to be for a while still, I think. So, got to make the most of it. Got to make the most of it, haven't we? So back again today, looking at this massive, great Nordmende beast. But certainly gave me the run around on Sunday, definitely, as you saw. But progress has been made. So we'll catch up with that in a minute. Firstly, let's have a look at who's in. And for some reason, the chat decides to do its own thing sometimes. And I know there was people in earlier, but, you know, it's... Let me have a look. So we got Cyberflyer in. Afternoon, Cyberflyer. Man Cave Workshop. Sean, how you doing, mate? Early doors, both of them. But I think Derek was in first. But for some reason his chat's disappeared. But, yeah. Aston, yes, Monster Radio again. It could be on the mend, you could be right. Butcher's saying the output transistor push-pull stage is intriguing. Interesting to see where or what has failed, either before or during. Well, that's quite a few things, I think. Really could be an issue. And Man Cave Workshop. First live chat of the day before we even went live. Amazing. Thank you very much, Sean. Theo, afternoon, Theo. Michael Hyde, hi Michael. Bretsky, afternoon Brett. Andy Beck, hi Andy. Driver Films Shortwave, I've got it right that time, afternoon. We're doing well, mate, hope you're okay. David Roberts, afternoon David. Petronics Nick. Aston, afternoon Aston again. Chris Brown, hi Chris. Who else we got here? Doug's in, hi Doug, how are you? Clive, Superbike Rider. Fingers crossed, yeah, gonna need him crossed, mate, I think. Daniel Russell, hi Daniel. A rainy hail zone, yeah, it's about the same here, Daniel, today. But to be fair, Mrs. Cruncher's been out planting. She got seeds coming up, she wants the rain. So, you know, got to help us a bit on that, the rain. We do need a bit of rain every so often, although the sunshine is much nicer, I think. But, you know, saves our water, I suppose. Benji's in. Hi, Benji. Darren. Hi, Darren. Yeah, good, mate. Hope you're well as well. Phil Taylor. Afternoon, Phil. How we doing? I'm still not up with everybody. Look. Dave Malik. Afternoon, Dave. How are you? Colin Parnell. Hi, Colin. Jess is in. Hi, Jess. I think I got them all. Cyberflow, I think I said hello to you. Jax, afternoon Jax, how are you? Can't wait to see this monster come back. Well, you might not have to wait long, Daniel. So a bit of background. Obviously, I spent a lot of time messing about with this radio on Sunday. And we did sort of make some progress. We had a look at quite a few bits and pieces. We tested everywhere. And we left with it still pretty dead. Afternoon, Don, how are you? Or morning or evening, wherever you are. Don Hopkinson, nice to see you, mate. So yeah, that's what the situation was. We left it at that. I needed to step away from it really, because there's only so long you can spend before you need a break looking at some of this stuff. And it was great, everybody joining in on Sunday with bits to check and that. But in the end, I had so many things that I had to check in my head that I couldn't do any of them. So I thought it best to step away from it and sleep on it, so to speak. But I didn't do that, did I? Because no sooner had I had my tea than I was up here printing out the schematic and looking at the radio again, messing about. And I think Darren and Andrew Ausfer, George Christophe, Rob. They were all sort of giving me advice, giving me things to check and that. So I thought I'd carry on and have a little play with it. So I carried on and did a bit on Sunday night, and then I spent the day yesterday messing about with it. So I'll bring you update with where we are with it shortly. So what are we saying here? The chickens need the rain so they get a good wash. Well, the other thing is it frees up the ground so they can do a bit more scratching, Theo. Although they do like a bit of a dust bath. Benji's got some wholemeal baking flour this morning. Well done, Benji. We haven't been able to get any, mate. Well, we got some a few weeks ago, but it was organic and it had sort of grit in it. So, yeah. But yeah, Benji's banana cake is right. Is the business, Sean. As we sampled. Have I missed anybody, have I? We've got Andrew Elsford. Did we see Andrew in yet? No. No Mr. Cody's yet. No Mr. Christophe. I think George is up. He's busy under the bench, I think. Hi, Stephen Devereux. How are you, mate? Rainy here. I think it's raining everywhere in the UK today, isn't it, really? We were expecting it last night, but it didn't really come in till today. I woke up to it. One thing I did want to check that I sort of mentioned the other week was my little poll that I put on. Let me see if I can bring that back up again. Because that did move on quite nicely, actually. And if you haven't voted on this, then if you would, it would be really helpful. See if I can find my channel. I always struggle to get onto this home thing. Me. Your channel, here we go. So yeah, if you go to my channel and you hit the community tab, just flick you onto my screen. Let's get rid of the banner for a second. I know Benji likes it. I don't like to get rid of it, really, because let's get you onto my screen. Hopefully you can see that, can you? Yeah, you can. So yeah, if you go to Radiocruncher channel, my homepage, you'll see all these tabs across the top. I think if you click about, there's a link so you can send me emails, links to some of my other bits and pieces. But the community is where I sort of post stuff from time to time if I need to ask something to you guys, really. And this was the question that I posted a week ago. That what is the contact you look forward to watching the most? So here's the results at the moment. We've got 52 votes in at the moment, which is pretty good. And nobody wants to see record players. So record players is it's a no. Record players is a big nada. No record players. Bin 'em. Throw 'em away. Vintage Commodore computers. I put Commodore computers there really because I've only really got Commodore computers. I've got me Apples and me PC, and I've got old laptops and all the rest of it. But really, I grew up with the Commodore series of computers, so that's where my interest lies, really. Was never really into Ataris or BBC Micros, Acorns, ZX Spectrum. Never even touched any of that stuff. Although they did use the BBC Micros in schools, but we didn't really bother with that. It was a bit before my time. After my time, so to speak, at school. So yeah, so way out in front is transistor radios at 56%. I mean, Evolve Radio did creep up near the transistor radios, but still we're out in front with the transistor radios. Evolve Radio's bringing up the rear, and CB radio and amateur radio is creeping up. So, you know, it's given me an idea, really, just to where to base my content on. That's all it is. So if you haven't voted on that, and you can only vote once, on one category. So make sure you vote the correct way straight off, and just pop your vote in there, and we'll refresh it at the end and see how we get on. So let's pop over to the main camera a minute. We'll just have a look at the radio in question. The beast that it is. There he is. Pretty much how I left it on Sunday. Pretty much how I left it on Sunday. But we'll power that up in a minute. But I'll show you some clips and some photos shortly. So let's just catch up on the chat a minute. Yeah, we're trying to avoid the supermarkets. To be fair, Benji, we're trying not to go anywhere that's going to sort of give us any sort of risk of catching this blooming virus. So we're trying to get deliveries if we can, or just do drive-throughs at local shops rather than going to the supermarkets. So we probably could get flour if we went to one of the supermarkets, but we've tried twice on delivery orders and still can't get any. But we have managed to get some bread, so we're okay at the moment. What are we saying there? Just catching up with the chat a minute. The morning's the best time, Benji. Yeah. Yeah, we use plain flour as well, Theo. We got a bread maker here, and it will work with plain flour. In fact, you can get quite a nice loaf with plain flour. It might not taste as strong as the strong bread flour, but it still makes a nice loaf. More tabs open than you, driver. That's a lot of tabs there. I've got a lot of stuff going on at the moment. Guess what you voted for? You probably voted for the computers, Brett, did you? I bet Brett voted for the computers. Real computers have Z80s. Really, Jax? I'll bin my Lynn Sondek. No, send it to me, Butch. It'll be in good hands, mate. I'll just play the roast to myself. It's not a problem. You voted Commodore as well, Dan, did you? And Brett did, yeah. Brilliant. Atari rules. I mean, they're all good machines. It's really whichever one you followed back in the day, wasn't it? Because everybody had their own opinions, and there was quite a few. Obviously, the best-selling one was the Commodore, but, that's because it was the best one. 500 toilet roll. Nick, chat's going quick. You voted ham radio. I don't think so, because I can do all of those subjects, Nick. It's just do I spend? It's where I spend the majority of my time. I think We'll play your old 78s. It's a beast of a machine. You would have put another speaker on the other side. It is like a boombox, isn't it? It has got the little tweeter as well, look. So we have got two speakers in it. It's got an 8 ohm main speaker and a 3.5 ohm tweeter. Stick to local shops, Doug's saying. Yeah, definitely. Afternoon, Linton, how are you? Vic 20 for Daniel. You just added another 2% to Volve sets, Jax, did you? Well, as I say, I dabble with a lot of stuff, don't I? I could have probably put another 10 things in there. Afternoon, Ganesh. Hi, Kat. Doggy's out for a walk. Lynn Sondex run fast, do they? Benji? I've got a Lynn, it's not a Sondek, I can't remember, it's a Lynn something or other, but it doesn't run fast. You got a Specky 2 under your bed, whatever you're into, Jax. Does it come out and haunt you at night? Does it jump out and go, whoo? Like that? Oh, great stuff. You need to go up in the loft and find that CB radio. I'm sure there's an old Roberts radio up there. And you voted for amateur and CB radio as well. I will do. I've never done a CB radio video yet. One of the reasons is I haven't got a CB antenna hooked up. But I have got my inverted L, which I can tune up on CB, but it's horizontal, not vertical, so it isn't brilliant. You got two Amiga 1200s. You're showing off now, Colin. I've got two Amigas up in the loft that I bought some from the vintage radio forum. A guy was selling a couple off there that he'd had into repair and never got round to it. They both got battery damage. It might be Amiga 600s. They're either 500s or 600s. So I've got two up in the loft to do. And I've been sort of putting them off, but now I've got some better kit here and the microscope. I'm gonna get them out soon for a look. Afternoon, Gary. How are you? It haunts you with the colour clash. Well, that was their trademark, wasn't it, Jax? At least they didn't make it fluorescent. It'd be glowing under your bedhouse, wouldn't it? Amiga 600 is smaller. Yeah, I can't remember. I think they're Amiga 500s, Daniel, but they've definitely got batteries in them. Battery damage. Yeah, SMD, definitely. You want your radio restored, please? My address. You need to probably email me then. Is the best bet, Ganesh. If I pop up on screen for you. If you want something done, Ganesh, pop me an email up. And afternoon, Video Monkey, if I didn't already say it, mate. Welcome again. Well, you seem to have got a fair few computers then as well. Yeah, the Atari STs were. Video Monkey's got loads of them by looks at Atari 400, 800, 800XL, ST, and a Mega 4. Could be 500 plus, then, Stephen. Yeah, could well be. You like the matching Nordmende t-shirt today, yeah? I thought it looked almost a bit military, didn't it? You know, a bit military. How about recapping an FRG7? Nice old radios, Linton. I'm sure that would be fairly straightforward, but probably not. You're talking away and you're having totally your own conversations, but I'm used to that, Butch. That's what it's about, isn't it? So Benji can see the Liver building from the front door. Used to run a BBS, yeah, bulletin board service. I do remember those, Video Monkey. But I never really connected a modem up until I got my very first Windows 3.1 PC, I think it was. I think it was an old Hayes modem. But yeah, that took forever, didn't it? But back then you didn't care. It was just amazing. Your computers might be coming up for sale if you move. Now, I'm sure you'll have a loft in the new place, Brat. Just mark loft on the side of the boxes and put them back in the new loft, mate. Be fine. You don't need to get rid of them. There's lots of caps to replace in the Frog. I did do the FRG 7700. I've replaced the caps in one of those. Well, I did half the board, to be fair. I did the PLL side of the board because that was what was playing up at the time, and there was a few caps that I pulled out, but to be fair, most of the caps in that one were not far off at all. I mean, they were Elna caps, pretty good. Cost of the internet 20 years ago was about £15 a month, pay as you go. Yeah, it was. Well, we used to be on dial-up, didn't it? Like you say, bulletin boards were free, but I think there wasn't a lot of other content on there, really. It's moving all the shiny stuff that's the problem, Brett, is it? Anyway, let's carry on, because we're gonna run out of time, House. Not that there is a time, but I will be finishing up around 6:30 as per usual. It's good. CompuServe, yes, that rings a bell, definitely. CompuServe. The source. No, I don't remember the source. I can definitely remember CompuServe. And I think AOL was my first internet provider. Anyway, let's let me just get back onto my screen while you're having a chat, onto my desktop, and let's pull up my, if I can find it. Let's close up some of these unused tabs. Yes, close that, close that. Here we go. Okay. So let's pop you onto my screen again. Hopefully you can see that with me up in the corner, because I like to be in it as well. I like to take part. Yeah, apologies for the thing. I could make it full screen, I suppose, but you know, what the hell. So what I did when I came down and finished my tea on Sunday evening, I decided to get the schematic, all the pieces, and tape them all together. So you can see how long this is. It's 4 sheets of A4 in portrait. It's a big old schematic, but obviously the bit that we were interested in is down in this area. So I managed to sort of get it all together, and it's a beast of a schematic in it. And I mean, when you actually look at the schematic for this area, the shortwave band tuner, it gets really crazy then. It goes absolutely mental. What else have we got? So yeah, it was just chatting. We were trying to find the best place to hook it up, and I was looking for the positive line. I've clicked through it there now, and we sort of said that this would probably be a good place. I can't remember the whole chat now, but I know a few people, and I think Aston emailed me, Darren emailed me, I think Doug emailed me, so thanks. So Doug put a comment on with some suggestions. So I think we sort of decided in the chat that the issue was in this area on Sunday. It was obviously on the amplifier stage, because it was absolutely totally dead. Despite checking out the I've lost my train of thought now. The socket, the external speaker socket. I mean, that checked out okay, which was bizarre, because everything was pointing to that being the issue. So just looking further back in the circuit there, I was just querying some of the stuff from the volume put on. We're talking about injecting signals. I was asking what this was down here, but we think that's just sort of some sort of voltage regulation for different rails. So I wonder whether something like that had caused the issue, but just clutching at straws really. So anyway, this is what happened on Monday morning now. So now we're on Monday morning, so you can see one of the things that I struggled to get my head around was that positive is negative. So it's got a positive, a common rail is positive, not negative. So what I was trying to do previously, I was trying to connect my positive from a signal generator up to the positive of the radio, where I should have had it the other way around. So what we've got here is my signal generator on AF generator mode connected in, and I've written on here 402 and 501. So if we go back, no, we can't go back that way. Let me see what's on that, what's on here. No, must be that one there then. Apologies, I've got this turned around twice because I was trying to view the board upside down. So let's just get you back to the schematic a minute for the audio section. It's a big old schematic in it. Here we go then. Just zoom you in a little bit closer. Oh, whoa, steady. So you see, there's my T501 and 402. So 402 is further back in the stage. That's really at the start of the stage. And this line here coming into the base of the transistor is where the volume pot comes off. So basically signals from the IF stage are fed in here and then amplified out through to the speakers. So I had a solder connection on here and one up here with the capacitors as per this. Yep, so that's those two points. So really, if I got nothing on 402, which is further back in the stage, I move up to 501. So that was just like eliminating that transistor. That was all. So moving on. I probably got okay. So yeah, I've actually written it on here. So basically, the point I chose to connect the negative on was the collector of T503, which is one of the output transistors that was directly connected to the positive line, or the common line we'll call it, not positive. So that was how I hooked up. So I started off 402, and I'm not sure one of these videos is not that brilliant.
Okay, so I'm connected up to base of T402 with SIG-Gen. Got it on 3 millivolts, 1 kilohertz tone. Got my signal tracer hooked up. So if I touch that, so I'm getting it on the emitter of the output transistors. I'm getting it on the positive of C513. Am I getting it on the speaker? Nothing on the speaker. Let's try the speaker connections down here. Nothing. Nothing on the speaker connections at all. So go up to the 2-pin DIN. This is the positive, there by the looks of it. This is the switch. Okay, so I'm connected.
So I think that was that video. Let's move on to the next one then. So now I've connected up an external speaker. I think this first one might be
well, this
no
is
good.
Pretty loud. I don't know whether it's because who knows? I put it up to 10 millivolts now.
So that's my audio generator.
And I've got my external speaker connected to the positive, which is the collector of T503, I believe it is. Yeah, T503 collector, same as my SIG-Gen. And I've got the other end connected up to the positive side of C513. So let's flick it on.
Yeah.
Well,
basically, I just knocked the lead. That was all. So let's move on to the next video. I knocked the lead and disconnected the power.
Let's turn that off a minute. Right, okay, so I'm connected back up again. Hopefully good again. So I'm connected up to test speaker. One side going to C513. The other side going to the collector of T503.
Okay, so let's just pause there for a second. So the object here was to bypass this, and this was Darren's suggestion. He sent me during the night a little diagram. So the idea was to go from here down to here to totally bypass this side of the circuit altogether. So we're cutting out the V598 and I'm sticking the speaker in this area here. So coming straight off the positive of that capacitor straight to the positive rail down here. So basically taking all of that and sticking it directly across what is the output, because I was, if you remember in the previous video, this is the emitters, and I was getting a signal here but nothing out through this part into the speakers. So that's what we're doing. This is why that test speaker is wired in. Just thought I'd mention that. And apologies, I can't view the chat for a minute, so I'll catch up with that in a second. So right, here we go then.
So here we go again. I think we can say that is definitely getting through. Okay.
So sure enough, bypassing this switch, I suddenly have got a working radio. Well, let's not get too ambitious, but I've got a speaker that works and an output stage that works with this, all of this lot out of circuit. Well, not out of circuit, it wasn't disconnected, I just hooked it onto the end of it. So yeah, lo and behold, we have a working amplifier. So the issue obviously was here somewhere. Now I've been and changed this cap just in case that had done anything weird or gone short or gone open or something, although it would have still worked through this speaker, but I just changed it anyway, and it was at quite a way out, but it wasn't causing an issue. Tested this, it was fine. Actually disconnected this this jack totally out of circuit, and that's the square 2-pin DIN jack on the back. I desoldered that and I actually physically tested it with an ohm meter, and it was switching in and out fine. The switch was making contact, so it was an open circuit, so it wasn't that switch, believe it or not. Everybody was convinced. I was hearing what everyone was saying, but looking at the radio I couldn't work out how it could be open circuit. But anyway, the plot thickens, so we've now know that we've got a working amplifier stage, but the speaker stage is no good. So what do we find then? Right, okay, we've got another video. I'm not sure what this is.
Okay, this is the confusing bit, right? So I've got my speaker lead now disconnected from C513. So I'm going to touch this up to this one here now. So if I hit it there, I've got it. Hit it down here. Obviously, I haven't got it.
So bear in mind, this is the switch here, which is closed, which it should be, and the switch opens when you push the round pin in this hole, which is the extension. Oh, I'm probably in the way now. Let me just get my mug out of the way a minute. I don't know if I was in the way then or not. But yeah, so when you push this pin in of the 2-pin DIN, it breaks this switch and basically puts the output through this pin to the center pin there and takes your output out. So I wasn't going to get anything by putting the speaker connection there, but certainly I was getting a speaker, I was getting a working circuit with touching this. So let's view on.
There. I've tried bridging those, but I still didn't really get it through that speaker. So whether I should be bridging this one and this one, I don't know.
No, you shouldn't be doing that.
Just a bit confused on that particular plug there, so I'm getting it there. Get it there. Obviously not there.
Just ignore that bit. I mean, and apologies to any headphone wearers. I don't know how much of it I'm picking up, because I think the sound is coming through the laptop speakers rather than actually being embedded in the video in the live stream.
So I don't know whether the switch is between these two or these two. Confusing. Okay, this is the confusing bit, right? So I've got my speaker lead now.
It keeps replaying videos. This. Right, now this is the bit where I tested the
okay, well I pulled the
socket.
headphone switch out and
external speaker switch.
The extension speaker switch out. So push my meter into there.
Hello. Dirty floor shot.
You can hear it going. I don't know if I can do this one-handed or not. If I push a screwdriver in there to break the switch. So that's good. Okay.
So that was just proving that there was nothing wrong with that switch. So the next thing was Darren's suggestion was this is a very old double-sided board, and they've got vias in it, and you can see one just there, look, just at the top of the shot. Let's put me back in because I think I need to be back in now. So you can see one there, look, just at the top of the shot. There's a via. So all that is a connection to the trace on the top side of the board. You know, this is very old two-board, double-sided board technology. So, and again, it was also pointed out, and I have heard before, that some of these old bits of kit with early double-sided board technology, you can have problems with the vias. Now, there's vias all over this thing, and there just happens to be one right there where the speaker wire joins on. So this basically goes through this hole and out to the speakers. So this is where it picks it up. So I'm not sure where I am after that, but I know I did test these connections. Let's see if I've got anything on that. No. So that's showing, you can just about see, and this is quite highly magnified, you can see that via coming in on the top of the board. And I've just zoomed back out, and the via is down in, you see this is one of the transistors in the output stage. Was it? No, that might be the one in the power supply actually. And that via is down just underneath this. I mean, it's impossible to get to. It literally is impossible to get to. The only way I could have got to it was to somehow slide this board out, and the only way I could do that was to take the slider switches off the front, which I cannot get off. I cannot get those slider switches off. So anyway, so here we go.
That we're beyond the peak on the wave of the wave of infection and death.
So just catching up with what I've done here. So you can obviously hear that now I've got a working radio. So what I did was I put a link in from the speaker wire here back to this point basically. So somewhere on the track, somewhere on the PCB, this connection between here and here is broken. So the switch itself is fine, it's just a connection missing there. And if I get you onto the underside of the board, I'll show you what's happened, or what I've done, so to speak, not what's happened. So let me just get me off the picture. You can have a look at that. So basically, I've not bypassed this. I've just replaced it with a jumper wire. Let me just get in. So hopefully, I'll get the light in a bit better. You'll be able to see. You can see my black jumper wire there. So this is our external speaker socket. So this is the switch, which should be normally closed, which it is. And then when the switch is opened, it lets the signal out through here. But as I say, down here, this via, you can see I've cut the wire off now. So what I've done is I've cut that wire off. The other wire is still soldered down the bottom now. You can just about see that. Let's just get a bit down a bit further. The other wire is soldered still on its original place, and I've just got some heat shrink over, and I've done a butt joint there of the black wire, and that goes through into the speaker. So what happened is this is a double-sided board, so the track for this pin goes across the top side of the board and back down to this. I've got it zoomed in a bit close now, really, am I? Yeah, so basically that track goes along on the top of the board. It goes under all of these transistors. It sort of wings its way across, and then it comes back down to this point here, which is where the via has had it. And as you can see, it's right on the plastic. I suppose I could have dug the plastic out there and tried resoldering that via, but that probably would have looked horrible, and I wouldn't have been happy with that. I'll put this wire in now, and I've just got it hanging there at the moment, but I will attach that to the board later so it's nice and neat. So there we are. Let's jump back onto that video then, because I didn't show a picture of that wire, bodge wire. We'll call it a bodge. Should we call it bodge wire? It's going to stay. I ain't taking that board apart. So let me get back onto my other video then, and we'll finish that video off. So as I say, that wire is replacing this one really, which runs along the top of the board. And if I go to the actual layout, I can show you that. Where are we? We want the... No, you should be able to see it on the solder side of the board. Yeah, okay. It's a little bit difficult for you to see here. Let me just... I can pop it up one size bigger, I think. Again, it's going to depend what you're viewing it on. So if you look at these 2 points here, look, that's the connection underneath that external speaker, and this blue track is the trace that runs on the other side of the board. So it's purple actually. So when you see it goes grey, it's going over the top of this pinkish colour. So you can see it just goes in right underneath those two transistors. It's only a single tracklet. It goes all the way around, all the way down, and then it joins to this point here with this little point on it. Basically, that's the connection to that speaker. So probably that via there is not connecting the two sides of the board together. That's more likely. Or there's a break in underneath here somewhere. So all I've done is run a wire pretty much as it's seen there, just down. I've just gone straight across there and bypassed that out. So let's get back to the video.
By easing lockdown restrictions early, Veronica
Or the latest.
and I thought it was my mind, so I threw away my
In the 24 hours on Saturday. Cabinet Minister Michael Gove's insisting there won't be an extension to the Brexit transition.
Wow. It's working. Ish.
The price on which the EU has all its expenditure. And the one thing we do know is...
Okay, is there anything else there? Okay, right, no, this is just going a little bit further now. Because inside this radio there's some lovely little tantalum capacitors, but we'll come to that in a minute. Right. Let's go back to the radio now then. and let me catch up with my chat now. I'm back. I'm back in the room. Right. So let me just catch up back up with the chat, because there's loads been going on by the looks of it. I can see the screen flying up. And I do see a super chat in there. I think that is Fat Tony. Next week's giveaway lives. You wish, Tony. Anyway, where am I? Oh, I've got loads. I've missed loads. I'm a bit light. Let's get that light out of the way. So talking computers, AOL and free trial disc, yeah. CompuServe. Do you remember your CompuServe ID? No, Video Monkey, I don't. That's a bit of a tall ask, that is. I don't remember my last birthday, let alone my CompuServe ID. Cheers, Sean. Alta Vista, yeah. Cool. Darren was a major help on that, and I think, you know, everybody was in the same ballpark. You were all screaming at me that it was that extension speaker socket, which it wasn't, but it was one of the traces going to it, so that did throw me a little bit. But it's Darren that did mention that that could be the problem. FreeServe. So afternoon, Fat Tony, how are you, mate? Apologies if I've missed anybody. Still, the chat is still just about manageable. All the gear, no idea. Afternoon, Chris, how are you, mate? So I've rabbited on for quite a while there. Hello, Liquat Ali Kamar. Afternoon, and welcome. There you go, Chris. Well, hopefully you've caught up with that little bit of footage that I did from the chat rooms. And all of that was sort of played out on our messenger group. So if anybody is interested in that, then you need to drop me a message on Facebook, and I'll see about getting you added. Daniel's got me on the iPad while he's answering emails. Tupin Din, yeah. So just catching up. That's Tony's live super chat again. Thank you, Tony. Doug didn't think they had double-sided boards that early. Yeah, I know. It is. And one of the other things that I didn't mention I did go over the board and I resoldered every wire that I could find, because I got the amplifier working but the radio was still dead, and resoldering the wires and some of the other points on it brought it back to life again. So we have got some issues with this radio still, which we'll get into in a minute. Yes, there was some component failures, Butch. What I didn't explain was I did find a transistor blown, but it wasn't really in that circuit. It was in the power supply, which we bypassed by going in the battery route. So Grundig designed it. Yeah, it's definitely German, Tony. As Chris saying, you're quite right, Graham. The through plating does fail in a lot of old PCBs. The common fix is to install a pin through the board. But you didn't have access with a plastic in the way. I know. I just couldn't get it. I just cannot get the sliders off the front. Afternoon, Derek. In a rainy Wales. It's good service manual. It is very good, Chris, and hopefully you can see it up on the screen. It's I can never see until I view the streams back what it actually looks like on your tallies, really. Hello, well you see. How are you, mate? Chin in. COVID cheer up channel. Well, I hope it's a cheer up channel. I think it's all light-hearted in here, isn't it? Jeff Smith. Hi, Jeff. How are you? Hello. I've jumped a load of chat again. Cold and damp in Leeds. Amazon package. Hopefully it's something interesting, driver. Double-sided PCB was first made in about 1947. I think this was a bit later than that. Gold-plated tracks, Nick. Whoa. Are we allowed a beer on a weekday? Of course you can. I'm on the water still. I mean, I had a little wager with Mr. Mancave on Saturday night to say that we do 3 days this week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday on the wagon. So I'm on day. Well, I didn't do anything on Sunday either because I had too much on Saturday. So I'm on my 3rd day. So you know. But don't worry, I'll be back on it soon. Don't mention Facebook. That was you, Tony, wasn't it? I knew it was. Yeah. So Jeff's found the three missing valves under the base of your new Tesla 532A. I'm not clue what that is, Jeff. Is that a car? Have you found 3 valves under the base of your new car? Yeah, there's a few more viewing there, isn't there? Good tip for the future on the German sets. Check the wires. Yeah, definitely. Darren's confirming it there. Going to have to watch wires on old stuff. Now this thing is absolutely full of wires. A lot of the legs of the capacitors are connected to both sides of the board. So I'm gonna have to go over them all, I think. Afternoon, Barry. How are you? Did get it working yet? You did lose the wager, Sean. You fell at the first hurdle, mate. But never mind. I like to try and have a bit of willpower every so often. It is good to have a break from it from time to time, especially as we are these days. This lockdown thing, it's easy to just go and grab something out the fridge, whereas normally you'd be probably out and about and you wouldn't be drinking. So just need to ease back a little bit. But don't worry, I haven't given up. I'll be back. I'll be back stronger than ever. So what's Butch saying? It's amazing. Some radios and hi-fis work, but unbeknown to the user, they're just about working. But an acoustic research amp that blew up, the output transistor connections began to smoke first. Oh, doesn't sound good, Butch. So your neighbour asked me to get the PC working again, so I opened it up and just change boards, jacks. Just plug in other boards until it works. Oh, a lovely Volvo radio, Jeff. I've not heard of Tesla radio, but you'll have to pop us a picture. So there we are. But things aren't all rosy, because there's issues, people. Now let's have a look at some of these issues then, because although the radio works, it's not working as it should do. So I thought I'm not going to spoil it by carrying on and just finishing up the radio without letting you join me. So I thought we'd have another look at it today. So I've still got a lot of investigation work to do, and this radio is by no means finished. So let's turn it back around for you. can see it. Let's change my camera. I haven't got my iPad up here again. Could have sworn I had that. Anyway, let's get the radio in shot for you. Let's connect up to my power supply. And I never know which way's up, on or off on this thing. You certainly heard a thump there. No, where are we? It's not going to work now, is it? I need an aerial. It ain't going to work without an aerial. You off, Butch, are you? Cheers, mate. Thanks for joining us today, Butch. Hope you've enjoyed it so far, anyway. Right, let's just pop a little bit of an aerial up here. It does sound a bit quiet. Can you hear it's distorted?
They hadn't actually achieved anything wonderful by doing it.
And that inner steel.
I don't know why it's quiet
talking
so that
about
it was.
Patricia made her later in her life a friend to presidents, notably Bill Clinton and Barack Obama. 2014, she was 86 years old, and her son said she'd been in pain for a while, in part because of her dancing career, but it's for her books that she'll be remembered. If growing up is painful for the southern black girl, being aware of her displacement is the rust on the razor which threatens the throat, she wrote in When the Caged Bird Sings, which went straight to the top of the bestseller lists after her death. And looking at it, I'm really struck by that word displacement. Displacement was both the cross that she bore and yet in some ways was to stand back and see things from the outside. Do you agree?
It's one of my favourite words, liminality. She was of, but not necessarily purely anything.
The main thing is the AFC. So if I put the AFC on,
Liminality is a wonderfully powerful place.
That's not going to do it now.
And I think she found that space and she owned it.
help improve public trust?
I feel like the government's response in not only handling the PP crisis but the whole virus in itself wasn't the...
Yeah, so it's pretty deaf. I mean, it might just be because I've got a rubbish aerial connected up here. I don't know, but it does seem a bit quieter than it was. I'll have to check. Again, it's probably connections on the board. Perhaps I've got the... Hang on, perhaps that's the AM area, not the FM. Let's try this the other way around now.
Police forces handed out more than
So can you hear that distortion?
people who were breaking the social distancing rules in the first 18 days of the... were given the power to enforce the restrictions at the end of March.
Govinda and Ben at 5:45. Still
There's a new scam going around where an automated telephone call claims that not wearing a face mask is now illegal.
So the AFC should pull that station in, but it doesn't. It seems to be working the other way.
Gets a call like this, should hang up immediately. And Nando's is reopening some of its restaurants in London and Manchester. It's started cooking and delivering chicken for NHS workers.
So the AFC is working, but it's not working very well. It's distorting it for some reason.
Well, stay with Heart for the latest.
Anyway, that's FM, yeah? I don't know how we're doing. Let me just check the chat.
I will always remember the day you kissed my lips, light as a feather.
We didn't feel that the lockdown in our care home, we didn't think there was enough advice about how this was going to be transmitted. And of course, we have seen anecdotally now many cases where people have been transferred from hospital. They have found to be carrying the virus. That virus has infected our care homes, and obviously the result has been...
What's Darren saying there? You set up a ratio detector. Let me just do that one as picture.
Face coverings in confined public spaces to help slow the spread of coronavirus. The First Minister...
You set the ratio detector and AFM balance pot on a decker today. You need it to be limiting on a strong AM signal to set that balance pot. Yeah, I mean, that's something we're possibly going to have to do, Darren, is tweak that, but I don't think that's going to happen today, to be fair.
She said there was some evidence that face coverings might reduce the chances.
Yeah, I'm still live. I mean, as I say, there is issues with YouTube. I think a lot of people are on it at the moment. So anyway, let's go back to the other camera a minute.
The First Minister described it as a precautionary measure which would not be mandatory or enforced, although that position...
So let's go to medium wave. Okay.
100 NHS.
Can just about hear it. It's quite quiet though, isn't it?
Really have been a take back and the outbreaks of rain. Exeter, for instance, earlier today only just managed to get to 10 degrees. Many other locations, particularly over high ground, were in single figures today. And I think for tonight we'll have a relatively mild night. Overnight temperatures down to between 6.
This is not very sense. I mean, the volume is right up there. There's still issues with this radio. It is working, but not. Lights work.
For tomorrow. And then on Thursday's going to be quite a windy day with a mix of sunshine and
long wave. So we've got radio 4 over here somewhere. Now if I remember rightly, the issue with the medium wave is not. It's my room. Let's just get the Sony active antenna back in again a minute. I always forget this, and the more the sensitive a set is, the quieter it is on the more sensitive it's, the quieter it is with all this noise in here. So let's chuck it up there. So let's just pop that.
Excess deaths, 12,000. But not all of these had COVID recorded on the death certificate. We still have 3,000 deaths that week that didn't mention COVID. Some of those might be COVID, it just didn't get mentioned. Some though may be caused in.
So at the moment we're on long wave, as someone was asking there. Nazar, afternoon Nazar, how are you? Afternoon Nazar even.
We don't know what causes.
We're on long wave.
3,000 excess deaths.
And we're on radio 4, which is about 198 kilohertz, if anyone wants to know.
In hospitals, a drop in non-COVID deaths in hospitals.
So I'm just holding this active antenna. It's a ferrite coupler, basically.
Specialising in risk at the University of Cambridge.
On the antenna. And
as he told the World of One, the net effect has been a tendency for fatal non-COVID conditions.
French.
Because they feel, well, look, the criteria are too strict and I'm not going to get a test. The reality is
RTE,
that it's
Ireland.
really important that people continue to come.
But it's not as sensitive as it should be. So let's go back to medium wave, and we'll do that with the active antenna again.
It isn't, but can you imagine my... yes, Adrian?
I would take yourself to the council.
Right, okay, so that's that. Now let's go to shortwave. And this is what they used to call, I think they used to call this the marine band, didn't they? It's 1.5 to 3.5 megs. So starting at the high end. But I'm not sure where this one goes to. 1.5, 6 to 30. Now we'll leave it on here, and I think this has got its own little ferrite winding on the top of the radio. Just get that on the overhead camera and I'll show you what I mean. So there you can see that. So we've got there's actually 3 windings on these ferrites, I think. That one there is the shortwave band, one of the shortwave bands, and this is medium wave, and over here, over this way, you just about see it, over there's a long wave winding. So 3 windings, 2 ferrites. It's a monster of a radio, isn't it? It is a monster. Anyway, let's get back to the front. Let's get back to the front. Thank you very much, Sean. Lights up okay so we can see what you're not picking up. Yeah, COVID is over all the bands, mate, definitely. Thanks for sharing that again, driver. Much appreciated. I think that's what caused our mass influx the other day, so very much appreciate that. So let's go on that with the antenna coupler and see if we can get anything. So that's unusual, really, because if I just get rid of me a minute, it's coming a bit closer on the radio. I'll mess the light up now a bit. Oh, steady. So these top 3 bands are all on the same tuner, yeah? So they're all working off the same airspace tuning cabinet in behind. Can my overhead camera see that? Yes, it can. So yeah, it's all connected to this same airspace tuning cap there. So turning that, it's just moving that one. Look, you can see that moving in and out or not. If that light's on, that's on. I don't know if you can see those veins on that one moving or... Yeah, there you go. So yeah, it's all being tuned off that same tuning cap, although it'll be a different section of it. And I don't know, you can see just at a shot there is a wire off there which connects to that little metal plate in the side of the chassis. So I don't know whether it's that's causing the issue. I don't know. So it could be Could be. Yes, I did check R600, Darren, and it was very slightly low. It should be 220. I think it was 212. I think it was 212 from memory. So yeah, it just seems strange that long wave and medium wave are working on the same tuner, and that shortwave band there isn't. Because that shortwave band really is just sat up on top of the medium wave band. So, you know, it goes long wave is the lower frequency, then it moves up into medium wave, and then the start of the shortwave band. And then we get on to the main shortwave band, which is all these bits and pieces here, all this turret tuner, which we'll get to in a minute. And I'm telling you stuff and you can't see it here. So yeah, as we're saying, long wave is the lower frequency, then you move up to where it says AM, which is medium wave, and then you've got short wave, which takes up, it's just off the top end of the medium wave band, then really up to 3.5 megs, and then from there we're into all the other short wave bands. Although, yeah, that's right, yeah, this works from about 80 meters back down to 13 meters. So I think I've got to connect up to this aerial now. So let's have a look at this other. So far we've got dodgy AFC, we've got what seems like low output, and also we've got one of the shortwave bands missing. I'm not sure which side is which. I thought this white one was the AM aerial, but sorry, the FM aerial, but I may be wrong. I'm just going to connect up to this active antenna again. Switch to that. Again, I can't hear anything. So whether this is an antenna issue, let's just try connecting it to the other antenna, because I'm a bit confused about which one is which here. Basically because the case is down there out the way. Yeah, that seems to be the shortwave one, and that should be working fine off of this box. But not a dicky bird. Not a dicky bird. I can hear hum coming out the speaker, so the amplifier's still working. So, and it seems to be like that on all the bands. So as you can see, there is still issues. There's still issues. Now it might be worth me just getting the case a minute and connecting up the two aerials, because they could well be causing the issue, because there is a capacitor in there as well. And the other thing I could try is the long wire aerial, if I can find it. Where has that gone? I've tidied that up very neatly. Very nice, Graham, but now you can't get to it. Let's just try the long wire antenna as well. Not a dicky bird. No. So it's pretty dead on shortwave. Pretty dead, isn't it? Pretty dead on shortwave, which is a shame. Let me just get the case a second. Incidentally, I mentioned the where that wire goes. It literally is just inside the case there, look, which is much of nothing. It's just one single plate, with a connection to it. So whether that adds some extra capacitance in. Anybody got any ideas on that? As I say, it's just a solder tab there. Look, that little white wire connected to one of the tuning gangs goes to. So that could be an issue as well. It seems unlikely, but this is a strange set to work on, I'll tell you. It really is. Really strange. So let's zoom out a little bit now, because it's getting a little bit close in. So yeah, there's the aerial setup. You can see we've got a capacitor in there, but I think that's for the external aerial connections. There is 2 aerial connections there, just one over here. So I just thought it's worth a try. Just connecting up those aerials proper, and then connecting the external stuff to them. That's that one. That's the FM antenna, I think. Or is it the other way around? I don't know. But still, you know, we've not got any sound.
From above, so to speak, to
Nothing. I'm pretty sure this side's medium wave and that side's FM. I don't know, or whether the aerials work together even. They might just work together, you know. It's a strange old radio. Massive aerials. They're huge. That is nearly touching the ceiling. Literally is nearly touching the ceiling. Okay, and that's a much shorter one. So whether they're phased in some way, I don't know, but still got no sound. Oh, there is something there now. I've got some more rough noise there now. I don't know if you can hear that or not. Yeah, I wonder if there's some weird sort of phasing thing going on here with the aerials. So I can certainly hear RF noise now. Let me just get this back in again and actually no, let's get the other one in. Let's hook a normal long wire onto it for a minute. Could be, couldn't it? That's the aerials. I mean, I don't know if you can see here, but if I show you, where am I? Let's go to the webcam. So here's the aerials on the back of the set. This is the one here. Look at that. It's absolutely massive. It literally is. I mean, the light's blowing it out now, but it literally is nearly touching the ceiling. Look. It's huge. And then we've got the other one. It's just a little stubby one, just up here. So I mean, I would have said the short one was for FM and the long one was for shortwave, but I don't know whether it's the other way round. Yeah, I just don't know. Not making any difference. And that is making a difference now. Let's hook that up. I wonder whether it's adding the two aerials together on that band then. Let's try that. No, nothing. So let's try the shortwave bands with the aerials on, and nothing. Absolutely nothing. So let me just unhook all this a minute. Get these aerials back down. We'll get back to some sort of normality. I'll catch up with the chat again. So I think some of those aerials are maybe being phased together. I don't know, but it did make a difference when I connected the aerials up. Right, oh, wrong camera. There we go. Right, what are we on? I love the colour of the dog glass. Green looks wrong, but the colour works. It is different, isn't it? That's alright, sure. All bands, so if all bands weak point to low gain in IF or AGC fault. Driver's going out to head out in a bit. Got to drop a birthday present off. Very nice. Alright, driver, catch you in a minute, mate. It is huge, Sean. It's a monster, isn't it? It is a monster antenna. But there you go. I mean, so happy to take any suggestions. Just looking at that aerial, that does look like that is the shortwave aerial, that side. So that long one is the shortwave aerial. So I was connecting that wire up to the wrong aerial, really. That's strange, because I could have sworn that that one was FM, and this one was... But the long one is obviously going to be the shortwave one, isn't it? Yeah. That's the bands. Then we've got FM and AM over that side. It's weird. This thing is strange. This thing is strange because I'm just looking at the back of the set here now, and I mean you can't really see. You can if I put the Nikon on the front view camera. Let's pop the camera on. Get a picture in picture. So basically, this is the back of the set. This says bands, so this is the connection for the multi-band tuner that does all the shortwave tuning, and this is an external connector, so you can put a couple external connectors in there and run it out to a long wire, which we can try. And if you look in the back there, you've just got a single connector to put that white wire onto, which goes on the top one. The bottom one is the ground by the looks of it, and that just links to this long antenna here. On the FM side, now the FM side is weird because it says basically it says FM and AM. So I think that that must work for medium wave as well as that shortwave band. So whether something is switching in these aerial connections that's not working right, that could be the issue. I mean, my first point of call has got to be the switch contacts in here. Certainly that switch could be dirty, this switch could be dirty, and I'm not sure. I have checked the wafer switches on the back, and they all look clean, to be honest. I'm on the wrong camera again, but you know, that's what I do. So Rob is saying, complex, the shortwave bands on the rotary switch seem to have their own OCS and a voltage reg. Oscillator, do you mean, Rob? Also their own RF stage. Yeah, now this is this does get scary when you look at the RF stage in this thing. This does get a little bit scary. I always get the wrong way round. I should just go with the opposite of what I think every time. So this is the band spread, not band spread, this is the main shortwave bands selector. I think the issue with the other shortwave band is more aerial than it is anything else to do with it, and the fact that you need a pretty good aerial to get the lower bands. I can hook that up properly with an earth and a long wire, but I haven't got an earth connected over to this side of the room at the moment. It's all over on my amateur radio stuff. So yeah, my first thought is the switches, and the switches are all on this board here. So it's got to be a dose of switch cleaner in there. The other thing is, I'm not sure whether the board here needs more work. I'm going to have to probably end up going over every single one of those joints on this board and reflowing them, because let's say there's a lot of them are on vias. I was just wiggling the board just now and the volume was coming up, so there's still a joint that's not quite right on the amplifier board, and it's pulling it down a little bit. It should be a lot louder than that. I mean, Christ, it's got 4 watts output to the speaker, and I had that up nearly maximum volume, and it wasn't really banging, was it? But again, it could be a problem with the aerial selection on it. So yeah, that RF stage is pretty scary there. You can see the rotary. It works on like it's the sort of thing you used to have the biro on in the bank. It's like a ball bearing chain. So as you turn the thing, it moves this sprocket. And there's only a little tiny tuning cap on shortwave, which is, I don't know, I would have expected a bigger tuning cap than that. It's literally, it's about an inch, and that does seem to be it. I mean, as you turn the tuning down, unless that's just tuning the oscillator or something, but there's no other tuning cap that I can see. It's all done by inductors, really, by the looks of it, reacting with that cap. It is an unusual radio. It is a bit beyond my capabilities, to be fair, but with the help of others, we have managed to get it to this state so far. So yeah, as I say, turning this turns that pulley. You can't quite see the pulley, it's out of shot, but it's over this side. So you see this like see that little thing with the balls on it? That's what's moving it. It's not like the Russian sets where you've got a big old clunker in the middle and all the RF boards are on the rotary piece. That is just turning that station marker on the front, the band markers. It's not tuning anything as such, it's just a mechanical mechanism. Very clever. And then of course we've got our dial cord I'd hate to do a dial call on this as well. Don't speak too soon, Graham. That is literally just moving that little tiny capacitor at the top there. So I should think it's quite fine tuning on this. If we could get this band working, this section of it working. So the only work that I've done so far on this is I've just changed that capacitor. You can just see down the bottom there. That's all I've done on this board, nothing else at all. Are the tantalums on it? No. We've got some germanium transistors in there. We've got a couple tucked up in here. There's a dog bone capacitor in underneath there, but nothing too suspect. These square type resistors, you can see them in the back. See, like little rectangular resistors. They can be an issue. So where do we start? I've got to start, I suppose, by just giving the switches a bit of a clean. It's not the be-all and end-all, but certainly is going to make a potential difference. So let's go with a switch cleaner. What we saying here? Rob's saying own RF stage. Yeah, need to check for voltage around the T3 oscillator and T6. That vari-cap looks good for 3 megahertz and up. 2 gangs for RF and 1 for the oscillator. Right, okay. So what I'm going to do at this stage is just pop some switch cleaner in. Cut one there, like. Can't really get into that well. There. On there. Now we've got one hidden down the bottom there, which is the FM one. Well, FM is about all that's working at the moment. Decent. Well, saying that, medium wave and long wave are working fine, but not very sensitive. We've definitely got some more issues on this. Yeah, we're not out of the water. Now there is a lot of wafer switches in here. I've had a look at those and they literally look like they've never been used. They really are clean. So I'm reluctant to spray anything into those at the moment. Yeah, they look perfect. I mean, there's a lot of wafer switches in there as well. I don't know if you can see that, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4 there. 5, 6, 7 wafer switches in there. And when you look at the service manual for it, it's pretty scary. So shall we try that a minute? That's the first thing to do, really, was to give band switches a squirt. We'll see if that's brought anything up. Unlikely, but you never know. You've got to think positive, haven't you?
In capacity, on track to meet that. We're continuously opening new drive-through centres. There are now 41.
Well, FM does seem a little bit better.
This week. For people who can't get to the tests, we're expanding home testing to bring the test to them. We're increasing the...
You're only lonely when you hold me.
Yeah. Well, that's bizarre because FM sounds louder now, so whether there was an issue with that switches.
Today, because we've been able to expand capacity, I can expand access further. Building on successful pilots, we'll be rolling out testing of asymptomatic staff in care homes in England.
AFC's just knocking it completely off the channel there.
Working or living in a will be able to get access to a test, whether they have.
I mean, my understanding of AFC is that basically you tune to the station you want.
So from now, we're making testing available.
You push AFC,
all over,
and that pulls the station in. But it's not. It's the offsets. Something is definitely wrong with that.
In order to go
AFC,
to work and members of their households.
Unless, of course, it could be the other way around, that with the button out, the AFC is on, and pushing the button in turns the AFC off. I haven't got an instruction manual for this radio, I've only got the service manual. So it might be the other way around, I don't know if anybody knows that. Does that button switch the AFC off or on? It just says AFC. I assume it means AFC on. But anyway, it's louder now.
This is necessary to understand whether existing drugs could be used to treat people infected once they develop the disease. Currently, no have been clinically proven to COVID-19, but our therapeutic has identified a number of promising candidates. Currently, 6 different treatments have been entered into national clinical trials.
So that's still a problem, AFC. Let's try long wave again.
Working together. In addition, the best possible use
that noise is light, unfortunately.
We're updating the guidelines for the use of medicines in care homes, removing a barrier so that for the period of the pandemic, where it's clinical,
medium wave,
able to be used by one patient can be used by another patient who needs them. Another patient.
See, that has improved it, because if you remember, we couldn't hear hardly anything until I put the ferrite coupler on. Couldn't hear anything earlier until I put the ferrite coupler on, really. So it has improved it, just switch cleaner in there. Bizarre. So let's turn this one back on again then.
PPE. Getting the NHS whatever resources it needs to make sure that it is always there to treat everybody who needs it. The risk of a second peak is real, but as a nation, Civic Advisor.
Thank you very much. I could have the first, please. I wanted to go into a bit more detail about the 5 tests for adjustment. First slide, please. I wanted to go into a bit more detail about the 5 treatment right across the UK. The second, and consistent fall in
That's the daily COVID update from the UK government, so that's why it's on every channel. Right, let's try that shortwave band again. Okay. So we know that works on the FM aerial. So again, we've got RF noise, but it's not picking up anything. Let's try the long wire on that again. That sounds better. No, it's still not picking anything up. And the long wave bands still sound silent. Let's just connect that up. Oh, hang on. Sound like a bit of RF noise then for a minute. Sound like it was picking up my phone. Well, my phone is now. Oh well. We have live. Seems to be in between bands though. It's in between the... So it could be those switches. Let's do some more switches. Button it up. Job done. T5 is the oscillator. Switch cleaning first. Start with simple turns in the AGC circuits. Yeah. Hit it with a mallet. Mallet is the way. Let me just catch up with my chat again a minute. I've got the camera zoomed in way too far again. But I was getting a little bit of action there by putting it in between the stations. So I think we need to hit that as well. Unfortunately, I didn't want to spray anything on those, but I'm going to have to. Stop the easy stuff first. Definitely, Doug. There's not a lot of easy stuff on it though. That's the problem. There's a severe lack of easy stuff on it, unfortunately. It's going to warm up here again. Throw it across the room is the third option. Rubik's Cube radio. T5 is the oscillator. The oscillator for the whole of the shortwave band, Rob? I think definitely we've got some problems with the tantalums, but there don't appear to be any tantalums in the RF sections. It just tends to be in the, well, I suppose it's in the IF sections. It is. I am going to take one tantalum out. I've got time still. I'm going to take the AFC tantalum that Rob suggested yesterday. So try the SIGGEN on shortwave. Take it to Germany. Alignment would be fine there. Rob is saying no, just the ones on the rotary switch. What do you mean, Rob? I'm going to... you saying do the tantalums on the rotary switch? I'm going to do the switch cleaner in there because it sounds like it's coming to life in between bands. So that would indicate dirty contacts on the switch, but they look immaculate. I don't really want to spray too much in there, but they could have got... See, this stuff here isn't working right for some reason. I'm going to have to get the old Servosol out. It doesn't seem to spray properly. That it just seems to fill up the top part. Whether it's just me not... Yes, it's just filling up inside there. I'm not overly keen on these latest deoxit cans, to be fair. I was quite happy with the old ones till they changed them. Some come out. I really don't want to get this all over the insides of the radio either, so let me get some more B-roll. Tats like to explode. Plume de matant. Plume de matant. The rotary switch switches voltage, so clean that switch. There's lots of rotary switches on here. You mean in the whole of the rotary switch, Rob? Is that what you're saying? That's what I'm about to tackle. If I can get in just to protect that band. Band chart. I don't want to spray it all over that, really. So I don't know where Mr. Christophe and Mr. Cody's, whether they got some sort of bet on, perhaps, that they're not going to join. I know it's happened. They could have. They could have a bet on. But then, as I say, you never know at the moment, do you? What's going on with people? Right, so I'm going to get this Servosol. Bear with me. Let's get rid of the picture in picture. Get the Servosol out if I can find it. Where's my Super 10 gone? Come on. There he is. Right, Servosol Super 10. Back to the good old faithful. Let's right. I'm hoping that will bring them back. Let's let that soak in for a minute. Well, you can see that. That's basically what I've just sprayed. I've just gone in and sprayed all the all these wafer switches. So. So a quick look at that tuning cap, make sure that's not got any crud on it. Been knocked, you know. Someone could knock the tuning cap and cause it to short out. We get nothing then for sure. So I'm just going to get a bit of air there. Give the tuning cap a blow through as well. Let's give that another Good old workout. Let's see where we look. Andrew saying, am I still live with the Galaxy at 6:30? I think I'm going to be finishing at 6:30, Andrew. I take it Andrew's still stuck working. Andrew can't see that. Let's reply to Andrew there. Right, shall we see if that's made any difference at all? I hope it has. Let's just soak up some of this stuff and it's dripping all over the board. The service salt smells like sort of mixture between petrol and diesel. I can hear my phone. Ah, there it is. There's my phone. There's the phone. Right, so let's get it hooked back up again. Right, let's just zoom back out a bit. And let's try this beast again. It'd be nice to get them shortwave bands working, because at the end of the day, that's what this radio is all about. It's not all about the bass, it's all about the shortwave bands, really. No BFO though. No BFO. Right, let's get him back to the front so we can see what's going on. As I say, I think that other shortwave band is an aerial issue. It's not to do with the circuitry, I'm sure. We need to connect our long wire back up to here. As I say, there is a lot of RF noise in here, so let's go for it. Let's go for it. This could be it. This could be the turning point. I wasn't going for the I was hoping not to have to spray those because they did look brand new, but obviously they were an issue because it was cutting out in between the bands. I did get some life there with a bit of a wiggle of the band switch. This is getting better. Everything we do to it is getting better at the moment, so let's take that back out of the way. Yeah, every little bit we do is improving it. So here goes then. We're on shortwave. And we're in. What band are we on? 9 megs.
Здравствуйте, уважаемые слушатели. Рада новости и управление путешествия. Это на волнах нашего радио. В студии ведущая Мария Сидоренко. Через несколько минут мы отправимся в Сингапур. А пока новости туризма.
There's a lot of popping and crackling there, but I think... No, it's not on my radio. It's not on my aerial, I mean. Right, let's try another band. That was 9.4, 9.8. Actually, let's go the other way. Let's try... Okay, so it's basically saying that you go upwards for 13 to 8. So let's go, this is 80 meter band, I think. That's just picking up a load of interference. Bit too much interference in here on a lot of the bands to get anything. That's a 9 megs, we did that just now.
Plus de choix évidemment, mais évidemment en même temps il y a aussi un choix difficile à faire parce que
Experten haben die erste.
Государственные власти. Церковь не стремится уметь.
That'd be funny, wouldn't it?
Montait sur les scènes de 58 pays. Des chefs d'État, des têtes couronnées et des artistes célèbres sont trouvés parmi les spectateurs, comme le pianiste
Sounds French,
Arthur
doesn't it?
Rubinstein ou le peintre Salvador Dali, qui a même peint un portrait du musicien. Écoutons un air avec Ion Laciano à la cornemuse, Sırba.
Thanks for the super chat, Sean. Glad you're liking it, mate. Yeah, VMix went again for some reason. Yeah, if anyone wants to do any clog dancing, anything like that, bit of jigging.
Son estados de alarma, estados de emergencia. Nuestro vecino Portugal, por ejemplo, o Francia.
I think the thing is with it, let's just swap to the other camera. The thing is with it is the bands are so small on this, you don't need a band spread control. Like on a lot of the radios, you've got like a band spread, it's like a fine tune, but you don't need it because you haven't got much of a band on each selection. So it's doing a lot of that for you. That's why I'm not having to tune very far across to fine tune it. The other thing I'm not sure of is this switch down here. It's got something to do with AM, and it says Channel Brett. Channel Brett. I think it says give it to Brett. I think it says give it to Brett, and he will fix it. Let me just... Anybody... Any idea? I wonder if that is switching in that other band somehow. Look. Can you see that? Can someone do a bit of a Google Translate on that? Shamal Briet. Briet. I don't know. That's wide and narrow, is it? The Radiocruncher belly dancers. Well, you know, for a small fee. Almost as good as Zorba, that, Doug, was it? So that's the IF bandwidth. Yeah, okay. I didn't understand what that was. As I say, I must see if I can find a user manual for this. So we can try that. If we push it.
Cada una de las fases como mínimo durará 2 semanas. Estará su evaluación es sujeta a una serie de criterios homogéneos en todo el país.
De orchestres de musique traditionnelle, tel celui de Radio Roumanie ou du célèbre Gheorghe Zanfir. Dans le morceau suivant, Ion Laciano joue d'une autre flûte traditionnelle de Roumanie.
Doesn't make a lot of difference. I can hear it popping when I push it in.
Before the civic or civil marriage, the woman, the bride, according to the Book of Rights, is not in the right. When the bride has according to the to be buried in the family burying ground of her husband, and her memorial tablet is not put up in the ancestral temple of
So I need to clean these switches as well. I haven't done that, so that needs doing. Let's just carry on playing with the thing, shall we? It's working. It's working. It's working.
В эфире «Путешествие по Китаю». У микрофона ведущая Мария.
Right, we've got more bands yet. 13 megs. Sounds like CRI again. That sounds like Ritty. It would be, yeah. That's Ritty on amateur band. Now we're getting into the 20 metre band now, 14 megs. Might pick up some SSB. There you go. What's that? Birdie's gone. Bit of SSB there, look, you can just hear it. Actually, this might prove our wide and narrow a bit better. If we can find a station. Yeah, that is then. Yeah, so that's a 20 metre amateur band. What else have we got here?
Dalili ya maambukizi aina yoyote mstari wa mbele kutoa huduma kwa raia wa Kenya. Alhamisi wiki iliyopita rais
15 megs.
ألم تر كيف فعل ربك بأصحاب الفيل
What's that?
ألم يجعل كيدهم في تضليل
Nah, I can't get into that really.
أرسل عليهم طيرا أبابيل.
Is that ABBA? Bad toad. $17 megs. And a little horrible interference noise that goes over all the bands. Bit of data noise there. I know it's got these like little orange bits on each band. I'm assuming, does that sort of like indicate where the broadcast bit is likely to be? I think it probably does. $22 megs, 21, 22. It's not putting anything there, so much again, I think. That's it. I say on the lower bands I've got a lot of interference. That one's still not working, but to be honest, I've not got the aerial hooked up, so but that is an aerial issue, I think. Again, lower bands 1.7 and that I've got absolutely no hope at this time of day. Just underneath the 80 metre band, so it's almost top band to 80 metres. Got no chance of picking that up on this. Well, I have, but not with this aerial. So one of the bulbs isn't working. Oh, yes it is. There's a bulb that illuminates the dial there. Didn't think it was working, but I thought a lot of these German radios, when you select the like band spread, it will actually switch the bulb on its own, but it does it in this one by the looks of it. But it only selects that bulb when you're on that band. So go to another band, push it in. Yeah, it doesn't work. Okay. Right, so let's pull this AFC cap out then. See if we can get that done. 45 minutes, look. I'm sure we can get that done in 45 minutes, can't we? But what a beauty of a radio, and I think it's almost getting to the stage that it's going to be usable. Dare I say it? Just prop this side up to save it resting on the knobs. Where's that? Where are those sliders? They're up out the way. So I'm working on the board underneath now. It's going to be quite tricky, but I'm going to see if I can show you what we mean. What has been sort of identified as the AFC part of the circuit. Let's have a quick look on the chat. Apologies, I haven't got my laptop up here, otherwise my iPad even. So let's have a look. So, gosh, a turkey's sound in a good mood. Look at the circuit diagram as it's labelled. IF bandwidth. Okay, Darren, I think we sussed that now. Thanks though for pointing that out, mate. Good stuff. It could be Derek. Yeah, I just sort of thought that was Radio Romania International, was it? Good stuff. FTA. I think it was Ritty, but it could have been one of the others. Move along, great job. Can you find a number station, Jeff? Probably not, but it's worth a try. Mohammed. Addis Ababa. Oh dear. William, how you doing, mate? Welcome. Good to see you. Be looking at your radio soon as well, William. So I think we're nearly at a point that I can actually hook up to that. I've got to put my VHF area up on the side of the house. I was going to possibly do that today, but I think the weather's going to put me off for the next few days, so it might not get done to the weekend, that one. Right, so let's just minimise my screen so I can see where I am. Let's get back onto the circuit diagram in a minute, and we'll have a quick look at the AFC section. Right. Yeah, there was a cock up today in the timings of the live stream. I set it at 15:30 and pushed the button, said it will go in, and actually set it up this morning. And there's only Sean that texted me to say that I'd actually set it for 6:30. Well, I hadn't, but lo and behold, the computer decided that it needed to change the time of the start of the stream for me. Which is very nice. Right, okay, let me just get onto my screen then for you. Let's get this done. So we're actually looking for this cap in here, I believe, C243, if you can see it. This is the cap we're looking for, and I showed you a picture of it earlier in my images I went through. So that's the one that we're going to try and hit. And it's that one there, look, see, C243. So it's in behind this switch, it's beside this sort of yellowy looking polystyrene cap. So you should be able to find that again. So the idea is to pop that one out, and again, it could be these wires, because you can see that's on a wire, so that probably goes through and joins the other side of the board as well. So you can, if you look at this joint, you can see there's no trace on the top of that one, so that's not a wire, but that one probably is. Anything that's soldered on the top like this really needs reflowing, so I've got to go through the whole board and reflow it. So I'm not going to do that now, but we will pop this one out and have a look. So let's get back onto here. Let's see if we can get to the circuit diagram quickly, because we're going to run out of time else. No, next stage on. There's a lot of circuit diagram on this thing. Here we go. Here we go. So this, again, Rob pointed this out. I think Darren's confirmed that this is the one that we need to look at. Really, it's a 1 microfarad. It's a tantalum. You know, there's another one in that circuit, but I think that's across the battery meter. So that's not really going to affect our AFC, but this one is. Plus this adjustment down here, R241, but I don't really want to touch that yet. But we might have a little tweak of that one in a minute. We'll see what people say. So let's see if we can find this one in the circuit now. C243. So it's going to be really difficult to do this. So let me see if I can find my schematics. I want to see what it is underneath the board. Let's turn the that one on. Soldering iron on. So PCB solder side. Here we go. So we're that way up. We're over here somewhere. I'll tell you what, it's nigh on impossible to do. I should have blown these up A3 really, or done them landscape, because they're a bit small to follow really, aren't they? You know, I can do a lot of things, but I can't follow stuff that small. I need it. Let's get the magnifiers on. That'll do it. Why didn't I think of that in the first place? Right. So soldered side C240, 243. F204. That's going to be that one. So that bit there. So trying to look at the board layer on the back, it's really difficult. It's those two, I think. Then we've got that one there. Immediately behind that one there. Right, I think I've got it. I think I've got it. Let me get a pen quick so I can mark the board. I think it's that there. Right. We're going in. We're going in for the AFC cap. Tony! Oh, cheers, mate. Catch you later. Cheers, Tony. A big curry night in the house tonight. Need to get the badgies made. Hi Dave, how are you? Yeah, unfortunately, Andy, I did set the, well, I didn't set it wrong. Flipping YouTube went a bit bonkers again for some reason. It's doing it a lot recently. It doesn't seem to do it if I set the time and that on my tablet, but if I do it on this computer, for some reason it just goes a bit haywire. Well, I've loosened something, but again, because it's through hole, I haven't really totally desoldered it yet. I think I've got it. Yeah, now I've got it. So let's pull that one if I have got the right component. I'm hoping. Yes! Oh! What a bit of detective work. The problem is now I need to make doubly 100% sure I get the right way round because I don't think it's marked. Let's get the old eyes back again. So looking at the top of the board that way round now. C243. Positive is at the rear. It might be marked on the board, but unlikely. Come on. I've got it. It's only out. It's only gone and got it out. So, C243. It's getting close. There's no point putting an ESR meter on a tantalum, really, because it's unlikely to have any significant ESR. There she blows. So let's get the LCR meter on it. Let's quickly do a dial calibration on this one, or scale calibration, or a probe compensation. Do not drop that cap, Graham, you will never see it again. It's tiny. So it's worth doing this every so often, especially if you want to make sure that your LCR meter is calibrated properly. So I'm just going to do what it says, short them out, which I have done. Press enter. So this gives you a bit more accurate reading. I'll try and do this fairly regularly, especially if I'm looking for a really accurate. Goat self-distancing, yeah. So again, we've got to open the probes now, press enter. So do I go with another tantalum? Do I go with another tantalum, or do I use an electrolytic? Right. Okay, so let's just go to capacitance. Let's connect this one up then and see where we are. If we just pulled this for absolutely no reason. Pretty much. That ain't far off, is it? 1.13. Yeah. So, yeah, do I put another tantalum in, or do I put just a electrolytic in there? Should we pop an electrolytic in it for now, because I have got those to hand. He says, are they right down the bottom there? No. Actually, there is some ones in there, aren't there? .50 volts, that should be enough. Yeah, I've got some of these it's Niche range, so they are pretty tiny. That's quite a baby one. So what did I say? Positive to the rear, didn't I? Let me just double check that. Measure twice, cut once, all of that business. Positive to the rear. Okay, let's pop that in. There's a lot of tantalums in here though, so it could be any one of these that's causing an issue. But I suspect it's more likely the vias that need resoldering. Can only find one leg. Tell you what, where the hell is the other side of that one then? Oh, there we are. Right. So, as I say, I don't think that was the issue because let's make sure that's in straight. Yeah, I don't think that's the issue because that wasn't a million miles out, that cap. If it had been way out or not measuring hardly anything, then yeah, it probably would have been the problem. But excuse me, I want to just unhook my soldering iron. I don't think that's going to have made any difference whatsoever, but we'll try it. Can but try. Now I think the positive connection is through hole, so again, even just resoldering the via could make a difference. Snip the legs off that one. Snippity snip snip. Oh, you can't see a blimmin' thing again, can you? What are we doing? What are you doing here, Graham? What are you doing? So anyway, I've just soldered that one in, although you couldn't see me do that because I had the camera still on where I was testing that tantalum. So pop that in with our mounting pot of parts that we've changed. I think it would be just worthwhile a minute just reflowing some of the other joints on this around this area. So let's do that. I don't know what time's doing. Let's keep an eye on that. I've knocked it off somewhere. This is where you need some sort of board holder, isn't it? Because I don't really want to rest on the ferrites. That tuning gang's not fully meshed. Let's see if I can fully mesh that one a minute. Don't want to bend any of those. Might be able to stick maybe a reel of solder or something underneath that. Nope. So something to just prop that up when I just work on the board on top here, really. A bit of goat. No, you don't like it. There you go. Good old 3-pin plug. Right, okay. So, let me have a go at reworking some of these joints and then we'll pop it back on for a test. So we've made a bit more progress yet again. Slowly catch monkey and all of that. So I'm going to use some decent flux. Not that all the flux isn't decent, but that runny stuff does tend to run off. So just resolder that one we've just done. They're definitely on vias because there's no other side, and I'm sure there's a row up here somewhere that are on vias. There's definitely a via there, and there, and there. There's definitely one there. That's a favourite. It's one I've already done there. So let's just do the ones in that area. So from that board back through. That'll do it. So I'm just going to reflow those a minute. Got quite a lot of flux on there, so I need to probably bring my extractor in. Got to fix Mrs. Cruncher's bling later. Mrs. Cruncher's gold chain's a bit poorly at the moment. I should rip it off in her sleep. Here goes then. Wish me luck. I'm going to use the goggles because it's easier to see what I've done. That may not be the best fuming extractor in the world. I'd love to get a Hacko or a Weller one, but there's so much money, I just haven't got the money to buy it. You're looking at about 800 quid for a fume extractor. It's crazy, isn't it? I know it's what price do you place on your health, but one joint that's not particularly nice there. Let me just get that solder, suck that out and reflow it again. It's just popping in. Not a very nice joint at all. I'll catch up with the chat shortly. Hi Bjorn, how are you? We're doing good, Bjorn, but we're gonna go for a revisit shortly, hopefully. Is it that one? Yeah. Ah, where's my little bar going? I'm blocked. I got a blockage. Again, very good suck there. See, there is a bit of muck on the board there. I wonder what that's underneath. I wonder if we've got something under there that's spewed its guts out. Is it that one that's popping? Yeah, let's just suck that one out then. Better. There's a couple others that I've marked here to do. Let's do those. A couple other vias there. It doesn't look like a particularly brilliant joint. Let's do that one. Just having a look, see if I can see any more vias. There's one there, not particularly healthy. Right. Right. Let's clear down a little bit and we'll get it hooked back up. See if that's made any difference at all. Or whether AFC is totally dead now. Yeah, so apologies to anybody that's just sort of coming on to join and suddenly finding that I'm on a stream that I've been on since 3:30, and originally it said 6:30 on YouTube. It took me a little while to spot it actually. It was only Sean that mentioned it, that I sussed that I'd done it. Okay. Right, back in the room then. Hooky, uppy, timey. As I said before, if anybody is interested in joining in the Facebook chat group, let me know. The Messenger chat group, I should say, which is part of Facebook, but it's a separate part of Facebook. Right, turn the volume back down because I've got that on full whack. Off. Let's connect back up. We want our FM area, which is that one over there. Now, where's the bits of wire I was connected to that with? I've thrown them on the floor. Yes, I have, and I've rolled, just for good measure, I've rolled my chair over them as well, just to make sure they're really knackered. Oh dear, you got to smile at me. It's good fun. Right, that's our FM aerial there. Connected up. FM, AFC, we don't know whether in is on or out is on. Fire in the hole. Power on. Nothing again. It's decided not to work again. Let's tune it to 100. Doesn't like that cap. Oh, hang on. Let's try it again. Something's amiss here because it's not coming on again now. It could just be my leads. Could be my leads. Stop working again. Come on, radio, what's the matter with you? Oh, this radio really is a pain, isn't it? I'm just touching the AFC section down here. It wants to sort of spring into life. I wonder if it's that switch. Oh dear. It's excellent, isn't it? Fancy some Rice Krispies. If you want. Check for broken wires. Yeah, there's nothing. I've done nothing, mate. Just gonna give these switches a go a minute. Because I did wiggle that switch and there is some life. You can hear it. It comes on and then fades off. Maybe the power switch needs a squirt. Let's have a look. It could be that. Because it's done it once before. And I sort of wiggled the wires and back to life it came. Let's do it with this one though. Why these cans do this, I'm sure it's something I'm doing wrong. Sledgehammer, Bjorn. It's so tempting, isn't it? So tempting to get Timmy out the cupboard and give it a good old whacking. Right. Wiggling my switches, wiggling my switches. Got a switch clean all over my hands now as well, that's nice. Switch cleaner everywhere. It's having a tantrum. This Oktoberfest has been cancelled. Oh no! It's the cap that you changed. I hope I didn't get the cap in the wrong way round. I've certainly put it in as per the diagram. That's let's make sure we're making good contact here. Right, I'll switch old cleaner up ode. Let's have a look. So when the switch kicks in, it's not doing it now. There's something loose on this board, I'm sure there is. Let's have a pokey. Let's have a Pokemon. Let's have a little poke around a minute. See if we can find this. We've got an intermittent connection here somewhere. Excuse me. Stick my head in the camera. I'll reach down for these tools that Doug gave me. And we have a good poker here. Doug very kindly gave me these. Anti-static alignment tools, and in there is a plastic screwdriver, which just the job for pokey. So switch. It's going to spring into life and frighten the life out of me in a minute, isn't it? You just know it is. I think we may have some dodgy joints down here. It seems to be in the area of this switch here somewhere. But that is where I put that new cap in, but just pop it up on its back a minute. Certainly giving us the run around this one, isn't he? Okay, we still tuned to roughly 100. Yeah, we're on FM. So there should be a station there somewhere. So it appears to be. So have we done it more harm than good by reflowing those joints? Oh dear. Let's just go over them again. Let's just go over them again a minute. Let's get my goggles on. You know, we may well have stumbled upon something here, and yeah, see that wire there is not very nice. Let's just see if that's brought it back to life. Yeah, it is those wires.
Yeah, good, thank you. I'm alright.
Good.
Enjoying a bit of ball bag.
Yeah, nice, me too.
You have 3 to beat today, Ashley.
Oh, okay.
Which is doable, like, you know, last
I'll try
week,
my best.
1, so... 1 chance and 1 chance only. 2. Choose another topic. So, first up, I'm going to hit...
Revolution. The ambassador has won.
One of those deaths in...
Okay, 45 seconds on the clock for Ashley. The score to be on ball bag today is 3. Answering questions on the in-betweeners. Let's do this. Okay, what colour is Simon's car?
Yellow.
Yes. Greg Davies plays Mr. Gilbert, but what is his position at the school?
A teacher.
Head of sixth form. In the first in-betweeners movie...
Well, there we go, people. Not we've got some issues still. Them wires, they're all going to need to be done, aren't they? They're all going to need to be done. They're all going to need doing. Right, I should be back. I should be back any second now. That was me. I think I knocked one of the camera leads. I think that was me knocking one of the camera leads. It might have been you that done it, Aston. You might have just knocked it. George! What? We're just finishing, George. Oh no. George. Okay. I knocked one of the computer leads, and it knocked me offline. Basically, wait, it knocked vMix offline. You've been unblocking the drain in the front garden, George. Oh, lovely job. The sewer drain, or the grey water drain. Anyway, George, you just missed it, mate. You'll have to rewind. But the radio's working, but we've got issues with that board. I'm basically gonna have to. I think I'm gonna have to reflow the whole board, but not just reflow it. I'm gonna have to get rid of the old solder. I'm gonna have to get rid of the old solder, suck it right out, and put some flux in and just reflow the whole lot. I'm gonna have to reflow that whole board. But there. Oh, nice, George. Water, gully, and sewer. Gotta love that. Loving it. So, yeah. I think we're nearly there with it. I need to reflow, as I say, all those joints. I think once I've reflowed that, as long as it's still working, I'll be happy enough to put it back in its case. A lot of the stuff I can get at from behind, and I won't need to access the bottom of that board anymore. So, yes, definite progress there. Yeah, definitely not in the rain, George, because of course it's you've got water coming down it all the time. Oh. So I did say we'd just quickly revisit the poll on my YouTube page. So let's have a look, see if anyone else has done anything in the meantime. Let's make sure we're on here. Yeah, we're on. Stick me up in the corner. I'll stay up in the corner out of the way. So prior to the live stream, we had 52 votes. Look, transistor radio repairs right in front with 56%. Volv radio's down at 21. Amateur radio and CB 17. So not a lot between those two, really. Nothing for record players, and only 6% for vintage Commodore computers. So let's refresh that again. See if it's changed. It still says we've got 56 votes. But has that changed a little bit? It looks like someone's... We had 17%, didn't we? For... Yeah. So Volv radio's moved on a bit now, that. Yeah, alright, so that was 56%. It's dropped down to 55, but it still says 56 votes. Did it say 56 votes just now, or am I cracking up here? Just do it once more. So say if you go to my channel Radiocruncher on YouTube, just click on the community tab. That's where you see all these little posts about bits that's going on. So we've got 57 votes now. Transistor radios has dropped back down again. But if it's just Commodore computers has popped up a little bit. Oh well. Oh well. So that's pretty much it for today, people. Hope you've enjoyed that again. It's been good having you all along. And we got some stuff done. We're nearly there, Rob. As Rob says, we're so near. It just literally is a case of reflowing that now. And I think we can put that one to bed. So you may see it again. You may not. But I think probably... What do? Do I change the tantalums for electrolytics, or do I buy more tantalums to put in it? Modern tantalums not got the same reputation as old ones. I think tantalums is probably the way to go, really, because they are much lower ESR, I believe, and they're very, very accurate. So an electrolytic might be, say, a 1 microfarad might come out as about 1.8 microfarads, or maybe even near 2. Whereas a tantalum is going to be pretty much bang on, isn't it? So, hi Pat, sorry I didn't say hello, mate, if you're in there. Making beer, I could do videos on that. Lots of resistor legs through the virus. Yeah, there is, Aston. Yeah. I think because it's got electrolytics in it, sorry, tantalums in it, we might put tantalums back. I'll see what I've got, George. I have got a random selection of tantalums, so I'll have to have a look through, see what I've got. If I got enough tantalums, I'll put them in. If not, I'll stick electrolytics in. Bipolars are usually okay in place of a tant, but then I ain't got any. Well, I have got some bipolars here, Benji, but not a lot. Yeah, they are in very small areas of the board. They're pretty tight to get to. Anyway, people, if you like that, don't forget, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, I must give a big shout out to my new subscribers. I'm getting quite a few recently over the last few weeks. I've gone up quite a bit in subscribers, so thank you very much to everybody that's joined. And click the bell, and you'll get a notification. Apologies for the notification cock up today, but it is always going to be 3:30. So it'll be 3:30 on Thursday, and usually 1:30 on a Sunday, provided Saturday night's quite tame. Otherwise, it could be later again. So catch you again. And Mike Atlantis, you've only just caught me up at the last 38 minutes. Apologies for that. So catch you on Thursday, everybody. And hopefully things will all be right. I mean, do we want to go on this one again on Thursday? Yeah, sod it. We can. We can do whatever we want, can't we? Bye for now. And if you're on the Messenger group, I'll catch you there later. If not, have fun and see you on Thursday. Bye for now.